Celebrating 30 years of phenomenal trend forecasting, 5 times a week, Monday through Friday. Here's Gerald Celente with today's trends in the news.
Hi, this is Gerald Celente. It's Friday, March 29, 2019, and here are some of today's trends in the news. On the market front, over there in Asia, over there in Europe, over there in the USA, everybody's high. That's right, they're up. And gold's up, oil's up, Bitcoin, even Bitcoin's up. Everybody's up. So what's going on? S&P 500 notches best start to a year since 1998. Dow rises more than 200 points. You ready? On trade optimism. You know what that is.
Oh, come on now. That ain't even bullshit. That's horse shit.
It's horse shit. Every time they come up, trade. Has nothing to do with trade. It has to do with earnings. That's about it. So on the GDP front, the Atlanta Fed, they're saying that GDP is now going to only grow at 1.5% for the first quarter. Yep, that's well below the 2.2% for the fourth quarter of 2018. And again, what's the markets moving on? Earnings. Earnings growth for the first quarter is also suspected to be lackluster. So, U.S. economy slowed heading into 2019. No kidding. It's a global slowdown. U.S. economy finished the year on a softer note than previously estimated, and new data showed corporate profit growth stalled, pointing to weak momentum in the start of 2019. Momentum. Yep. So, what does all this mean? It means more cheap money around the world to boost the equity markets, as we've been saying. So on the oil front, U.S. crude posts its best quarter since 2019, jumping 32% year to date. So, how come it's going up? Well, because of what the United States is doing to Venezuela. That's part of it, and Iran, the sanctions. Also, lifting prices up. They got that deal with OPEC and Russia and others where they're holding back 1.2 million barrels per day. So, as the economy slows down, they're making up for that supply and demand. On the gold front gained on Friday, but not a lot. And they're saying the dollar weakened a bit. The dollar weakened a bit, but it's still strong. So what are they going to do? Well, Larry Kudlow, the White House advisor, says Fed should immediately cut rates. That's right. I'm echoing the president's view. He's not been bashful about that. He would like the Fed to ease shrinking its balance sheet. Looking at some of the indicators, the economy looks fundamentally quite healthy. We just don't want to see that threat. So they're saying about cutting rates, huh? Well, how about this? Trend alert, your trend alert that went out Wednesday. I guess Kudlow is reading our trend alert. Fed can't wait, needs to move now. Beyond the accelerating global economic slowdown, we forecast a weakening U.S. GDP and lower corporate earnings will require the U.S. Federal Reserve to lower interest rates now before economic conditions markedly deteriorate. And they got a lousy track record of calling it before it happens, but now they're getting pressure. And we go on to say we are forecasting while U.S. equities will be volatile for the remainder of 2019, minus a wild card, and should corporate earnings remain solid, markets will modestly trend upward. So it's going to go shoop, pop, pop, beep, pop, 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 boop, 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 pop, 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 shoop, boop, until it goes down. Should the Fed rely on its data-based formula and fail to lower rates ahead of negative trend indicators, we forecast a rapid economic and equity market downward spiral. So I guess Kudlow's reading the Trends Journal, as so many other people are around the world. The only magazine in the world where you will read history before it happens. What else have we said about those rates? Hey, that housing market's been going down, huh? Yeah, you saw December when those rates almost hit 5% for a 30-year mortgage. Out in Southern California, home sales plunged in December 20%. Now, mortgage rates fall toward 4%. All right? They're going to lower rates. They're going to boost the economy. We are forecasting 2 rate cuts this year. And Kudlow is repeating exactly what we said because he's saying they want to drop it 50 basis points. So that would be 2 rate cuts at 25 basis points each. Because, as we said, the economy is slowing down. Don't believe me? Average Americans can't afford a home in 70% of the country. That's right. New York City claimed the largest share of person's income to purchase a home, and residents in Brooklyn and Manhattan must shell out more than 115% of their income. Isn't that something? While the average earners nationwide need to spend about a third. And that's why Kingston, New York is becoming the new Brooklyn, because they can't afford to live there, so they're moving up here and around the area. I see them all over. I see new people. Where you from in Brooklyn? Oh, how did you know? How did I know? Okay, what keeps the markets going? That cheap dough, that monetary methadone. Because not only stock buybacks, but parts maker to buy Wabco for $7 billion. ZF targets self-driving technology, the same one, with $7 billion Wabco tie-up. Wabco, can you go? That's all this is, merger and acquisition activity. While it's down this year compared to last, it's still high. And keeping those rates low, we're going to see where the markets go in terms of stock buybacks, because if they keep those rates low, you're going to see more stock buybacks continue to happen. And again, I believe that's what they're going to do. Fed pick, who owes taxes, is latest example of Trump's vetting woes. And they're picking Stephen Moore, who faces a tax lien of more than $75,000. I'm only mentioning this because I've met Stephen Moore. Yeah, when I used to do a lot of the TV back in the day, Glenn Beck and those people on Fox. This guy didn't strike me as very bright. But hey, he's perfect for the Fed because they call it wrong all the time. Read your trend alert. We have the quotes in there by Benny Bernanke. Yeah, didn't see it coming, man, and they never do. On to some international news. Wednesday, Israel attacked Syrian city of Aleppo, killing at least 7 people. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has made clear he intends to carry out strikes against Syria going forward, particularly on anything he can present as Iranian, because some of the people that were killed were Iranian. This is a violation of international law. Syria has done nothing to Israel, but Israel could get away with it. Oh, they may report me for being an anti-Semite, for saying that Israel should not be attacking Syria, because that's how disgusting this whole corporate media and political system in the United States and a country near you has become. How low can it go? Murder Incorporated, not only the United States, it's worldwide. And speaking of war, Trump advisor warns Russia on military presence in Venezuela. National Security Advisor John Bolton warned Russia today, on Friday, about its military presence in Venezuela, saying any move to establish or expand operations there would be considered a direct threat to international peace. What bullshit, Bolton? International peace, a direct threat? Hey, got sown. Hey, you little low-life Bolton. Talked about Syria before. How about Israel attacking Syria? Is that a direct threat to international peace? Can't say anything bad about Israel, not in the United States. Hey, and what is the United States doing illegally in Syria, Bolton? Or is it bullshit, Bolton? Quote, we strongly caution actors external to the Western Hemisphere against deploying military assets to Venezuela or elsewhere in the hemisphere with the intent of establishing or expanding military operations. Bolton bullshitted. How many bases does the United States have around the world? Bolton. Where the hell is the media on this? Celente. What do they got? Lockjaw Americans in over almost 80 countries with 800 bases, and this jerk off is talking about Russia being in another hemisphere? Yep. It goes on. Trump said Wednesday that all options are on the table. Oh, yeah, there were options on the table. How many times are they going to use that stupid lingo? What hypocrisy. And moving on to some other news. This is the Bolton who said, quote, we're in conversations with major American companies now. It would make a difference if we could have American companies produce the oil in Venezuela. It would be good for the people of the United States. How about that, huh? And this guy is actually credible, but it's one after another. Look under the Obama administration. Clapper, Brennan. It's a freak show. The greatest freak show on earth in a country near you. And on to some other trends. Problems with breast implants persist for patients. Estimated 300,000 women in the United States get breast implants. Yep. And most of them for cosmetic uses or purposes. And the details are the problems with both silicone and saline implants. So just think about it. Silicone and saline implants in somebody's body. This has been going on for a long time. But hey, it's in and out of the news. The share of Americans not having sex has reached a record high. No kidding. Uptight America. Identity politics. Here we go. The 60 and older demographic climbed from 18% of the population in 1996 to 26% in 2018. The share reporting no sex has hovered around 50%. But here's the big one. But changes at the other end of the age spectrum may be playing an even bigger role. The portion of Americans 18 to 29 reporting no sex in the past year more than doubled between 2008 to 2018 to 23%. Since 2008, the share of men younger than 30 reporting no sex had nearly tripled to 28%. Uptight America, man. I mean, if you're not thinking about sex when I was that age, your mind is wandering. But their minds, the geeks have inherited the earth. Their social media and mind and body and passion dead. That's one of your top trends for 2019. Yep. King James Bible, they got it wrong. It's not the meek shall inherit the earth. The geeks have inherited the earth. This is Gerald Celente, and that's some of today's trends in the news.